Hey guys, what's up? Disney Nuts here. How you guys doing? Today we're talking about a lens that I recently got, which is this one, which is the Viltrox 85mm F1.8. Let's go. Okay, so when talking about this lens, it's a lens that obviously it's a prime lens and it's fixed at 85 millimeters, which is what you see here. And this is an amazing lens, to be honest with you. It is very sturdy. It feels really like a good chunk of metal in your hand. It doesn't feel like something that's made out of plastic. There is no stabilization on this lens. You only have the option to turn on the autofocus on and off on the side of it. Does come with the hood and the lens cap. And what I love of this is you can see if it's a 1.8, it's got like this really great big wide lens here, which is really cool, which I love a lot. Now I can go ahead and talk about this lens for days if you want to, but I think it's best if we go ahead and show you some of the photos that we've taken around the parks. Let's go. So let's go ahead and show you some of the photos here that I took with this lens. This was, as you can see, obviously the Epcot Flower and Garden, and look how nice this looks. Look at the detail that we got here with this f1.8. It looks so sharp. Now again, f1.8 means that your depth of field is really shallow. As you can see here, the little guy back here doesn't come out too sharp. But again, when you got something where they're all flat lined up, it looks perfect like this. Here's one that I took again also at the Flower and Garden, just so you can get a hint of the depth of field. Here I'm focusing on her eyes here, and look how nice this looks. Amazing. Now these are all day shots. Let's go ahead and look at some of the night stuff here. This was a event that they had at Galaxy's Edge, and this was just people that they were doing their own thing, and I went ahead and took a couple of photos of this, and I actually focused on this guy here, and everybody else came out a little bit out of focus, which is normal for, again, they're in an angle, but it still looks really cool. Here's doing a little photo here with compression with the lights behind it. You get a feel of how this looks at the 1.8, how nice it looks. And now these shots, not only are they good for portrait stuff, you can also shoot like landscape photos like this. This was actually shot with right off of one of the trash cans, the exit of the Backlot Express. And you can see you can use this lens for everything. Even though it's 85, you could still, if you don't mind doing the distance, you can get some really cool shots as well. Look how nice this looks. These are just to show you the that compression shot with using these type of lens, 85 millimeter, how it makes it looks really, everything squished together, how cool it looks. This was inside the ride, Mickey's Minnie's Runaway Railway. It's when you see how nice this looks. So even in a low light situation, you can still get some really cool details. And the next following shots, here's another one of compression that I did of the Main Street, is this one that I wanted to show you guys. And even though it looks like it's pretty close, I want to show you how much I cropped into this photo, which is crazy, because even with all the crop that I did, look how good this looks anyway. Look at that. So that's what I love of this lens, to be honest. You can crop so much and you can still get some really good shots. Here's another one that I did a lot of cropping on. Let me zoom out here, and if we look at the original, actually let me go ahead and zoom in here for you guys can see exactly how much we can crop in here and still get a really good usable image. Look at that. Awesome. The next ones were taken here at this was at Universal Mardi Gras. The same thing. Look at, I cropped pretty much here, and you still got a really good shot. And again, this is a 250 of a second, even though the ISO is 10,000. Look how nice this looks. So Instagram worthy for sure. Here we got some action on the stage from Mickey's Royal Friendship Fair, and this one was another one that I cropped in a lot. Look at this, just to give you an idea, and look how still this good looks. Classic Pirates, just to give you an example of how this works inside low light situations. Look at this. Look how nice this looks. This is just, it's scary good, to be honest with you. And this is 1/80th of a second. Again, f1.8, ISO 4000, and look how nice that looks. You can even see the sockets of the eyes. Incredible. Now the next one is one that really surprised me. This one was one that I shot actually handheld. I held it up through the window, through one of the sides, and it's 1/25 of a second, and I sort of like put it against the railing there to keep it still. But look, at ISO 1600, look how nice this looks. And this doesn't have any type of processing or anything, just a regular editing here. I don't have any editor on it or anything, or any cleaning or denoising or anything. This is the regular photo right there. And this was one that I left for the last one, which is probably the most amazing one that I have, because I want to show you how much I cropped into this. Look at that. Okay, and I'm cropping in all the way, and you can still see the details. You see the dog, a little bit of the patches, the guy, somewhat of the beard. How crazy is that? Okay, here's how the original photo looks. I put a copy of it, and again, 85 millimeters. Now it is 13 seconds because I did use a tripod for this, because this is, as you know, it's pitch dark. Then we have the last two, which is another classic here for a Splash Mountain. And then another one, like I said, even though it's 85, you can still, if you got the distance, you can still take some really cool wide shots like this. And look at this. This looks great. That's it. Those are the images shot with the Viltrox 85mm 1.8. Pretty cool, right? When we look at the photos that we've taken with this lens. Now, this is a prime lens, 85 millimeters, so it is a really good option if you're like me, that I didn't want to invest in something like a 70 to 200. But it is good as a lens that's considered like a telephoto lens, which has a really good reach. And as you saw in the photos, even cropping down pretty tight, you can still get some really cool sharp photos. Now, one downside of this lens, and I'll be honest with you, is that it comes down to the firmware. And there is the ability to update the firmware of the camera through this USB port that you see here right on it. It's pretty simple. You plug it in and it comes up as a USB drive, and you just drop a file on it. Now, when I did that with the first lens that I got, it actually killed my lens. And what I mean by that is that I wasn't able to then focus. I couldn't set the f-stop. It was just a regular lens, and everything was just dead, and there was no way to go back. Many people are saying just drop the older firmware on it. It does not work if you do that. I tried that as well. It'll always see the newer one, and if it sees the newer file, it will not put the older file on top of it. So be aware of that. And sadly, with that, I did comment under the website post and the Facebook group that they have, Viltrox has, and I got no response. Sadly, I even opened up a ticket on their email, and I got no response as well. So that was a little disappointing, to be honest with you, because I'm really excited to say that this is an awesome lens. But again, run the firmware at your own risk, okay? And so just in case, that's what I ran into. But besides that, it's a lens that I would highly recommend for you to include in your bag if you don't want to carry something like a 70 to 200 or something really big. This gives a really cool range. Now, it is 85 millimeters, and we're talking about a full frame camera, so when it comes to the distance, it is a true 85 millimeters, so you don't get that extra boost when you're using a crop frame sensor camera. Okay, guys, and that's it here from home base. Hopefully you liked this video and the review of the lens. If you want to see more of these videos, please feel free to subscribe and comment below. It keeps these videos flowing, especially since this is a new channel that I'm starting off, and I'm enjoying sharing these tips with you guys regarding stuff like this, as well as Disney photography. So please subscribe. We really appreciate it if you have. Thanks a million. Until then, guys, stay awesome. See you. Bye.